What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about the Birmingham accent. Now, to be honest, I have in the past learned about the city of Birmingham and what it looks like and all the cool things there, but I had no idea that there was this entire accent associated with people who live and have grown up in Birmingham. And I'm actually kind of excited about that because I get to learn about and hear it for the first time today. Now, the other reason I'm interested in this is because it has come to my attention. This is actually an accent in England that apparently a lot of Americans are familiar with because of a TV show. Peaky Blinders, as we see here, the main character played by Cillian Murphy, who I'm a fan of, honestly, big fan of. Cillian Murphy mastered the Brummie accent. The Brummie accent. I think that's like another word for an accent of Birmingham. Birmingham accent, Brummie accent. Brummie is kind of fun to say. Okay, so you can call it the Brummie accent. For his lead role as Thomas Shelby in Peaky Blinders, super popular in the United States and I'm sure around the world as well. So, as the main character in this show that's super popular in America, a lot of Americans have been exposed, whether they know it or not, to the Birmingham accent. I don't watch the show, to be perfectly honest, so I don't know how he talks, or I don't know the accent, to be frank. So I'm excited to hear it, and also watch a little something of people from Birmingham actually talking and doing the accent, and then learning a bit about how you do the accent, and a little bit about how the accent is perceived, and all interesting stuff about accents. It's funny because in the United States, obviously, we have lots of different American accents, and Americans can tell all the American accents apart. But I feel like if nobody told me, I wouldn't even know that there was a bunch of English accents or even British accents for that matter. Like, I don't know if it's something about how your ear develops as you grow up, but since I listened to American accents growing up, I can tell the small little unique differences. But I have a lot of trouble with like just hearing differences between accents in the UK, I feel. So I'm also interested in if I'm going to even, I might not even have known this was a special accent, a Brummie accent. So I think that's interesting. Just to refresh myself, I have a little map here. Zooming in on England, Birmingham is right there in the dead center. Wow. Okay. Just to get a little frame of reference for myself, reminder of where we're talking about geographically. And first and foremost, I want to hear the accent. So I have a couple of examples of people talking with the Birmingham accent. So let's take a listen.
So, you want to learn how to sound like you're from Birmingham, eh?
Oh.
Well, I'm sure I can help with that.
Okay. A couple things here. This is like a Peaky Blinders impression, I think. So I don't know if all people from Birmingham talk like they're part of some kind of gang or in a sort of a low, scary voice like this, or if this is indicative of all people from Birmingham. I feel like it's not, but very interesting. I mean, at first listen, it really just sounds like an English accent to me.
Follow me.
Yeah, I mean, hold on.
So, you want to learn how to sound like you're from Birmingham, eh? Well,
yeah, I mean, she's saying A. Is that Birmingham, or is that just English? Oh boy. See, I'm already having trouble here. I have another example of someone who does actually have a Birmingham accent and grew up there, which I want to listen to here.
Now, have you found that your accent has ever been like a help or a hindrance in your life? Has it ever done good or done bad for you?
It's done a bit of both, to be honest.
Right.
I think the accent, it comes across in one of two ways. Either
I can hear it. I don't know how to describe it. It's honestly kind of nice. Or she's just comes across as a really friendly person. Interesting question as well. Has having a Brummie accent been a benefit or a negative in her life? Wow.
I think the accent, it comes across in one of two ways. Either people hate it or people think it's quite fun and quite, not charming, but like, they like it
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay, I'm starting to hear it. This is definitely not normal English accent. I don't even know what you'd call a normal English accent. Apparently, an accent can like change based on what neighborhood in London you're in, or what small region of England or the UK you're in. Apparently, accents can vary a lot within a close distance to each other. So, but I am hearing a distinct difference here. I just can't put my finger on it.
Anyway, so I know in acting classes in the past that I've had, they're like, tone your accent down, tone your accent down.
Tone it down.
Yeah, and
So here's the funny thing. I'm guessing despite everything I'm saying as an American, it seems to me like this is a strong accent in England. People notice. When someone speaks like this, people notice. They're like, wait, you have a Birmingham accent. Or something like that. Whereas for me, I really might not have noticed.
it comes across very monotone and a bit boring. Other people, they think it's great. So I went to a concert once and this lady was
think it's great.
Oh my God, are you from Wolverhampton? I was like, yeah. She's like, I can tell by your voice. I love your voice. I was like, oh, cool. Hi.
There are certain words like love. I love your voice. Where it's like, there's just some, like, I don't know, vowel sounds? I don't want to get too technical here. Actually, I do want to get technical here because I want to kind of learn what makes this accent unique. So I do have a video here as well. It's a Birmingham accent tutorial where they're going to actually try to explain precisely what is going on here, what makes it a Birmingham accent, the actual tones and pronunciations that are different from just maybe a more standard English accent, you could say.
The accent generally is received by the rest of the country as being, I think it was voted as the ugliest accent in the UK.
What? Oh my God. All right, and we're also learning about just the accent. Is that really the public perception? The ugliest accent? It's not ugly to me. It's different. It's like, man, I know there's, like how British royalty speaks. That I can tell is different. It's very proper and sort of clean. Whereas the Birmingham accent is definitely more like gritty. It's a little looser, a little more haphazard. Nothing's enunced, like super precise as much. But that kind of makes it very casual and fun. In a way, I certainly wouldn't call it ugly.
Which isn't a fact, it isn't true, it's an opinion.
Okay.
I actually quite like it, and I know you do too.
Yeah, okay.
There was a survey about untrust.
So they like it, right. That's just those people out there, the Birmingham accent haters. No, I like it, and so do they.
Trustworthy voices that you hear over the phone, sort of like in call centres, and Birmingham and Liverpool as accents were voted sort of the most untrustworthy. I've got family from Birmingham. They live in Solihull and sort of surrounding areas. So I'm not an expert, but it is in my family.
This is like a perfect example. The way she is speaking right now, I can't tell a huge difference between her accent and the woman who is speaking with a Birmingham accent. And I don't know why that is. I feel like maybe it's if people from Britain tried to listen and totally pinpoint the difference between a Boston accent and a New York accent and a California accent, and maybe even stuff even more nuanced than that. Sure, you can hear, I would think most people can hear like a Texas accent, howdy y'all, or like a Southern accent, or like a New York accent, where I want my coffee, and like there is strong enough differences there. Is that how clearly people in the UK can hear the Birmingham accent? Because as I thought, I'm having some trouble even distinguishing the differences, which is why I kind of want them to just make it real simple for me and point out the differences.
Yeah.
You are
I'm
nothing.
complete nothing.
You
Not
are
from
nothing.
Birmingham.
People say Birmingham sounds like they sound like they've got a cold. Like, this is a bit of a stereotype, but it's totally a stereotype. They don't sound like they've got a cold. It's just the placement of the words can be quite up here because it's like that's where it is in the mouth.
Really
Okay. Yeah, I could kind of hear that. Okay.
good point is the tone of the accent. So it always ends on a minor note because you hear it's like going over there, like it's like it ends on a minor note rather than a major thing.
Look at the mobile phones.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you have mobile phones.
Mobile phones. Rather than ending on a
Mobile phones.
So if I was
Really? Maybe I was hearing some of that and just didn't pick up on it. But it does make a big difference. Some of this stuff is just so kind of subliminal in a way. Like, where I don't really pick up on it. This is good, though.
speaking to Joel, I'd say to him, Joel, have you read my book? And Joel would say, no, I haven't read your book. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's the E note. One of the
What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. Man, I didn't even notice that the woman earlier was kind of doing that.
most obvious differences with a Birmingham accent from our accent is the short A sound rather than long A. So past instead of past, or glass instead of glass.
So the difference is they talk more like Americans. Haha! That's the secret to the Birmingham accent. Instead of gloss, it's glass. That's how I would say glass instead of gloss. That's so funny. Wait.
So past instead of past, or
Past instead of past. What? So it's literally an American accent, at least with the A's. At least with the A's. Wow. Wow, kind of fun to... I feel a special relationship forming. Wow.
glass instead of glass.
Dance. I was dancing in the classroom on top of the table, and afterwards everybody looked at me because they thought I was funny. Maybe. That's like a bit of everything.
Right. Yeah. That is funny how the A sound is like, at least my American accent, the way I say A's. Ha! It's a Birmingham accent. Who knew?
Yeah, such a long sentence.
That's a bit of all the sounds. Another trait of the Birmingham accent is the sort of intrusive G sound.
Oh.
Yep, so it's pronounced as a hard G rather than a soft G. So going would be pronounced going, but only in a certain scenario.
So if the word following the word with the G ending is a vowel.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, just based on what them just listening to them speak, they're saying a lot of interesting things, but I'm also just using them as a point of reference, as just an English accent. The Birmingham accent was definitely harsher, you could say, if that's a word for it. Let me hear.
That's nice. It's really nice when people connect also from Wolverhampton.
No, she wasn't. She had a friend who used to live in Wolverhampton. So she's like, oh, you remind me of my friend. Oh, I love your voice. It makes me feel happy. I was like, that's nice.
Yeah, like happy. It's very like saying every syllable in a way, but not that in an interesting way. It is more distinct. I am starting to pick up on it.
I was going after seeing my mum.
Or going over there, so you say going over there. But if you say going to the shops, you wouldn't say going to the shops, you'd just say going to the shops.
I'm going to the shops. I'm going over there to see. Yeah, you might keep...
Yeah, and maybe the Birmingham accent kind of runs together a bit more. The word, I think that's what they're getting at here. Whereas a lot more other English accents are pretty good at like very clear enunciation of each individual word.
That G. So it's worth remembering if you're trying to nail down a Birmingham accent, because it'd be small things like that people be listening for.
Yeah.
We've also got the intrusive K sound.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
adding K sounds to the ends of words that end in G, you might hear that a lot in Birmingham. So nothing.
Something.
Oh, wow. They're right. I think they're dead on with this one. Something. That is so, man. I would never be able to identify that on my own, just listening. But as soon as they say it, they're dead on.
Something.
Something. Some.
Something.
Not some.
No, yeah.
Huh.
Something.
Um,
It's similar to another accent that has that, like London, some would be like something.
Yeah.
They might say that.
Yeah. Anything. I can't think of anything to go with it. I've got these
Wow.
trousers, but I've got nothing to go with it. So
That is so interesting. This is just like opening my world up as well to the possibility of all the English and British accents at large. How there are probably so many I'm not aware of that just have these small, to me, small little differences, but that Brits can obviously pick up on easily by the look of it. Wow.
some people say that the Birmingham accent's got quite a rhythmic, sing-songy like tone to it. So
Which is probably also why you do slip into something similar to Welsh, because Welsh is also quite
like
sing-songy.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They're right. They're right. I do think that she sounded a bit sing-songy, as we say.
Wonderful. So do you find that there are where you tone your accent down or change your accent for whatever reason?
Yeah, if I'm at work, I try and sound a little bit more professional. Or
What do you do for work, if you don't mind
I
asking?
work on a bar and as an
Okay.
usher as well.
Okay.
So, but when I am on the bar, if it's especially if there's like posh.
It is definitely a little harder for me to understand what she's saying as well, I'm noticing, compared to how the other Brits are speaking in this video. And wow, I really like her accent. It's very, I will say, it's like very casual, but it's very pleasing, like comforting in a way. I really like it. I enjoy it.
It's quite up and down like that.
Whereas we would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Here's a fun fact.
Right. Yeah, and she is, I don't know how much of this is just that this woman is an interesting, kind of likable person, the person speaking with the Birmingham accent, but yeah, it's very like friendly in a way. Although now I want to hear like an angry Birmingham accent, a not friendly. I guess that happens a lot in the Peaky Blinders because it's like people killing each other in gangs and stuff, right?
Shakespeare's from Warwickshire, from Stratford-upon-Avon, and he wrote in that sort of rhythmic way, and the actual original players of Shakespeare would have spoken like that. So if you're reading Shakespeare, what tyrant torment has like do you do it up and down like that? What study torment tyrant has for me?
Interesting.
Like they honestly would have spoken like that because they're all from the West
But
Midlands.
soft would like to yonder in thy price.
Who's soft would like
It's funny. Accents are so interesting. It's more than just the pronunciation. It's the tone, the rhythm, the timing that you're speaking, and you don't even realize how big an impact that makes.
Then you got the AW sounds: daughter, water,
Okay.
court.
See, the way she says water, that just sounds like an English accent to me. Like, I didn't know that all English people don't say water. Like, or how did she say it?
AW sounds: daughter, water.
I cannot tell she's doing an accent there that's any different than her normal speech, to be honest.
Court, AW sound, court.
Okay. Whoa.
Again, quite forward. So everyone, that's just a few tips we've got for you if you're trying to achieve a Birmingham accent. Let us know if you want to see more of these kind of videos.
So we can do a more in-depth one if that's something you're interested in, because as Ia said, that was just a few examples of it.
Right.
But we post regular videos about different...
Interesting. Very interesting. That was a good little video. That was by those two Brits. And I gotta give it a like. That was really enjoyable. And, I don't know, I'm just gonna listen a little bit more to the Birmingham accent, just a little bit, just to end this.
Usher people come, I try and be like, oh, hello, you okay?
So you're actually adjusting the accent, or you're just sounding clearer? Because there is a difference between being more...
Yeah, now that I'm listening to the person on the right, speaking to her and asking her questions, the differences, now that they've been explained to me a bit, are becoming more and more obvious. And I also feel like I had to listen. I had to listen to people talk in like English accents a bit to get my brain wired that way to hear the differences. Wow.
well articulated and actually shifting your vowels and...
Yeah, I'll probably just try and sound a bit more articulated, then actually change my accent.
Yeah.
I find that quite hard to do.
Do you take phone calls?
Yeah, a lot of what she's saying kind of... Like, she didn't even finish the word... She said dude. Like, didn't even... It's a 2-letter word, D-O, do. and she almost didn't even say the whole thing. It's fascinating. Everything kind of runs together, and it almost sounds like words are abbreviated, and it's fascinating and cool, honestly. It's cool to learn about this stuff, and I didn't know there was this whole Brummy Birmingham accent. But now that I've learned about it and gotten to hear it a bit, I get it. I get it. I hate to think that there's like a negative association with this accent, like that people in the UK think it sounds annoying or bad or something, because I quite enjoy it. I don't know if there's any accent I can think of that honestly is like genuinely irritating or something. And this one I happen to think is kind of pleasing, kind of like casual and kind of nice. So yeah, I enjoyed this quite a bit. Diving a little deeper into the accent, the whole accent thing, and I'd learned about Birmingham, the city, and I was like, wait, there's a famous accent, apparently. And I get it now. I get it. It's cool. It was really cool to learn about. So I enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to British culture and stuff about Britain that I have never seen or learned before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.